Good evening, all. Welcome to the 55th day of High Performance Entrepreneurship Series. We welcome all of you who are attending today, and we are very happy to see you here. Dream big, aim high, start small. Start very small so that you can easily build a discipline around what you're doing. You can start very small so that you can easily focus on what you're doing. Start very small so that you can master what you're doing very easily. Once you do these three things, you will see that you have become a scalable startup. Yes, your journey as a high performance entrepreneur starts here. We are here to support you and help you in the journey of a high performance entrepreneur. Chumawak is here to support you in your journey. Today I have a special guest whose voice I love. And before the introduction or before the event, I would love to hear a small ghazal from him, and I think he'll just explain what a ghazal is before we start. To you, Dr. Chris.
Thank you very much, Kabir. Assalamu alaikum and good evening to each and every one of you. First of all, ghazal is a kind of singing where the lyrics moves from one heart to the other through music. And essentially, it talks about a person's feelings and nothing more. So here is a very small portion of one of my favorite ghazals and dedicated to Kabir and all the listeners here today. मैं ख्याल हूँ किसी और का, मुझे सोचता कोई और है, सरे आईना मेरा अक्स है, बस आईना कोई और है, मैं ख्याल हूँ किसी और का। मैं किसी के दस्ते तलब में हूँ तो किसी के हर्फ दुआ में हूँ। मैं किसी के दस्ते तलब में हूँ तो किसी के हर्फ दुआ में हूँ। मैं नसीब हूँ किसी और का, मुझे मांगता कोई और है, सरे आईना मेरा अक्स है, बस आईना कोई और है, मैं ख्याल हूँ किसी और का। Essentially, this ghazal means I'm the thought of someone, but somebody else is thinking about me. I'm destined to be someone's, but someone else is asking for me. I'm in somebody's fingers, say a small portion of the finger when he's praying, but somebody else is asking for me. So the whole aspect of belonging to one and another person seeking you is what this ghazal talks all about.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So, next, to take this session forward, I have a person who I have met hardly like less than 2 months back or in between 2 months. But she is full of energy when I speak to her. And I see the vibe in her, and I know surely she's going to make it and she's going to be a high performance entrepreneur. To take this meeting forward, I would like to call Sakshi Havelia. And Sakshi Havelia, Sakshi, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Kabir. Thank you so much. It was really a wonderful introduction. I really got happy. And oh my God, Dr. Chris, it was just amazing. Your voice and the song and the meaning of the song, everything was just wow. So, absolutely loved it. And we should start the session. But before starting the session, guys, we can't start it without his amazing one and wonderful introduction. So I'll start his introduction like this. मिट्टी का तन मस्ती का मन क्षण भर जीवन, and that's what his परिचय or his introduction is. That earthen body, filled mind, momentary life. That's his introduction. So we have with us Dr. Chris. He's a media consultant, voice coach, and presenter based in Dubai. Previously, he was a senior presenter, producer, and programming head of two other stations in UAE. He's a civil engineer by education, media man by vocation. For the past 19 years, he is also a model, MC, actor, dubbing artist, and in media till date. To him, media remains his first love, only next to his family. He has also got a chance to voice many characters on TV as a dubbing artist. For the efforts he put into media, he have been adorned with the People's Vote as Best Radio Jockey in Gulf Male Award Frequency 2007 and part of the Best Show in the same award night. Recently, based on public vote, he was selected as the Voice of the Year 2014. And not only this, he's also a cyber freak who loves to design websites and graphics, tweet, and blog too. And also, he is a qualified environmentalist. So, I am so honored to have Dr. Chris over here. Welcome, Dr. Chris. It's such an honor to have you in our panel today.
Thank you very much. A few aspects which you have highlighted. Thank you very much for that. I'm a practicing hypnotherapist, and today's topic is regarding what I deal with my patients when it comes to hypnotherapy, and it's mind, voice, and confidence. Essentially, we all think of the mind as some kind of a brain activity or feeling or emotion. That's what the answers I usually get when people talk about the mind. But let me clarify the point where I seek the Indian knowledge which looks at mind at a much deeper level. When a person is interacting with the five elements present around him, we have the fire, water, earth, air, and ether. When he's interacting with all these five elements, his body needs to be protected. So, for that, he has five senses. The senses, as you know, it's the eyes, the smell, or the taste, the hearing, and the skin. So, these five senses act to protect the body. Now, in order to protect the senses, you have an interface called mind. And in order to protect the mind, you have something called the intellect. And in order to protect the intellect or take care of the intellect, you have the self. This is the Indian concept or the division which we look at the self, the intellect, followed by the mind as an interface. And then you have the senses and the body, which is interacting with the five elements of nature. Now, when you look at the aspect, you have to understand how this protection happens. Imagine you're walking on the road and a bus is approaching fast. Your eyes see it, you hear the sound, and in order to protect your body, the senses pass on this to the mind. The mind conveys it to the intellect, and the intellect says there is imminent danger. And immediately, this self actually instructs the intellect to escape and tells the mind, and the mind actually sends the message to the body, and the body is protected by escaping. Imagine if you're walking with your phone and your complete attention or your mind is set on what you're seeing on the phone. Now, here what happens, that interface or the mind is already diverted. Then that is the point where you meet with accidents, you fall, So the mind actually is an interface between the intellect and the senses to make you work. Now, let's look at the aspect of communication. Whatever you have based on your learning, which is stored in your intellect, your mind has some idea. Let's say you're presenting a pitch to a client, or you're actually talking to somebody regarding some new concept, or you're presenting your project or anything. On that point, your mind has all the things necessary. The intellect provides all that is necessary. But are you able to convey it to the other person? That is the question. Now, there comes a point in communication. Essentially, communication is what I have in mind. I express through verbal or non-verbal communication. The non-verbal communication will include your attire, your posture, your gestures, and that takes up a space of around 70% or 78%. Now, the rest 22%, you will have your verbal communication. So you have a very small aorta of expressing your ideas through words. Now, when your voice is good, when your diction is good, or when you present it in a presentable style or a much acceptable manner, that is when the voice acts as a kind of presenting model or your presentation to the world. If that is good, then the perceiving person, the person who is actually listening to you or seeing you, he believes that you are confident. Now, this is the link or the synergy between the mind, voice, and confidence. But again, how do you improve your voice? It is the whole aspect of the voice being improved is you have to understand what the voice is all about. There comes where you have the breathing, which actually enables you to breathe properly, and when you exhale, the vibration of the vocal cords make you speak. This is the physiological aspect. What you have in mind, you articulate with the right kind of words, and when you speak out, then the voice, the way you speak, the intonation, the stresses you give, and all the other aspects of the voice, it can be trained, and your mind can be trained so that you can use your voice in the manner you want. Now, here, the minded voice, when it comes together, there is the aspect of confidence which sets in. Now, confidence, as per dictionary, it talks about one aspect of somebody, or let's say yourself, having faith or belief in someone or something. Now, that belief is expressed through your voice, and that comes from your mind. So, here, the mind voice put together, when it actually expresses that you have faith or belief in somebody or yourself, it either becomes confidence in something or a system or a person, or self confidence, which is very important for any kind of success. So, here is the basic aspect of mind, voice, and confidence, which, when understood properly and put into practice in your life, it gives you a whole opening where you are the best person to express what you have in mind. Nobody else can do it as good as you can. Say you're putting up a presentation, you're giving it to somebody else, that person will not be able to convey what you have in mind, because still you have something left in your mind which you need to voice. So, this is the point where the whole concept or the synergy of mind, voice, and confidence comes into play. Now, I would leave it open to each and every one of you to probe into this aspect, so that whatever questions you have, let's put it on an open discussion and then find out what is this mind, voice, and confidence synergy all about. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chris. It was really a very beautiful and insightful explanation of the synergy between mind, voice, and confidence. I guess our audience would really be, would have liked it and would have understood a lot about it. So, Dr. Chris, as you know, that Kabir's dream is to, reach 1 million people and, to basically give power to entrepreneurs more. Just want to understand from you personally and specific to entrepreneurs, how could this concept of mind, voice, and confidence will help the entrepreneurs in the
Okay.
initial journey and all throughout their journey?
Okay, let's actually take this example of a person who is an entrepreneur, and he has an idea, he's actually going to a person and presenting his idea. Now, there he needs a good voice, a strong mind, and confidence so that he can convince the initial portion. Now, the initial ice breaking, everything happens. The entrepreneur sets out his journey on his entrepreneurship. Then, what happens? He has to meet his clients. Now, if the clients see that the person is confident enough to take up this particular project, then the clients also believe on him. Now, on a later stage, his entrepreneurship or his company grows these employees need to understand what this person has in mind. Otherwise, they will not be able to execute what this person wants. So, even on a time duplication level, when a person has to execute, he has to understand from the person. So, he needs a better communication ability, though be it non-verbal or verbal. And if it is verbal, then the voice. If it is non-verbal, again, the mind has to be very clear and the non-verbal communication happens. The mind has to be very clear, then the verbal communication happens. And the confidence in his voice will make the person believe, move forward, invest, work, or take up the whole project and move forward. So these are the things which can be looked at on a very superficial level on an entrepreneur. Now, take the case of, say, this entrepreneurship goes to a level where you are interacting with another entrepreneur and you're looking at a synergy or a joint venture when the JV talk is going on. The person who is extending his hand to help and form a JV, there also you need your voice and the confidence so that they put together these two ideas and move forward. So all kinds of synergy happens when you have the confidence, and that is heard through your voice and your non-verbal communication. So that also is a part, but essentially, or more on a day-to-day level, like what we do now, the voice plays a very important role, though the verbal communication is only about 22%. So here, take an entrepreneur throughout his life till the moment he says, yeah, this is my empire, I'm giving it to the next person. Even at that level, he should get the confidence. So the next person, he should have a good voice, a clear mind, and the confidence. Then only it can be transferred. So the journey is completely with your mind, voice, and confidence. I hope I answered your question.
Absolutely, Dr. Chris. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
And I would like to, yeah, so, and I would like to welcome Dr. I'm so sorry, Detris. Detris, are you there?
Yes. Thank you, Sakshi.
Yeah, Detris is a senior project manager, and she basically helps businesses, and technical teams navigate through challenges and deliver results. So, over to you, Detris.
Thank you. And thank you, Kabir, for hosting this room, and Dr. Chris, phenomenal insights and knowledge. Thank you so much. I
You're
do
welcome.
questions. So you talked about confidence in your voice can make a significant difference and how your
Yes.
message is received. I was wondering, so what are some things you can do to develop the courage to be confident?
Yeah. So being confident is, as I said, the dictionary meaning, any dictionary you take up, it is the belief or faith you have in someone or something. It could be even yourself, right? That's the basic meaning of confidence. Now, when I speak, if I'm slurring a lot or in between, I don't have a topic to talk about, then you feel that, yeah, he's not confident about that particular topic. Or when you're talking to a person, your communication is broken in between. There also, you feel that he's not confident with the other person. So these are signs which our mind picks up and understands whether these two things or two people or one person and a thing can go together or not. Let me give you an example of a very small portion of voice where I can explain it through an example where you will understand how important a particular aspect of voice is. Let's take the aspect of modulation, or let's take call it the stress you give on a particular word. Let's take the sentence, I did not expect you to do this to me. It hardly has about 7 or 8 words. So if I say, I did not expect you to do this to me, which actually means the expectation was from my part. I did not expect you to do this to me means I actually heard it from somebody or heard it from you that you are going to do something, but I did not expect you to do this to me. Now, if I say I did not expect you to do this to me, which means I'm heartbroken. When I move it, the stress to the next word, I did not expect you to do this to me. Of all the people, why you? I did not expect you to do this to me, though you warned me many times that you would be doing, but I did not expect you to do this to me. Now, if I say, I did not expect you to do this to me, you have done many other things. I did not expect you to do this to me. Now, the last stress, if I say, I did not expect you to do this to me, you have done it to many others. Why me? So, any point in time, whenever your stress changes on the sentence, the whole meaning changes. Now, this is why many a times you have something in your mind, you convey it, but the stress changes, then the whole meaning changes, and the other person understands it in a different way, and the communication is broken, and a lot of problem arises. Be it in the case of family, be it in the case of business, be it in the case of entrepreneurship, every level, even if you're explaining something to your employee, the stress changes, the employee understands entirely different thing, and he would be actually doing something which you actually did not want him to do. So this
Mm.
is what happens when the one minor aspect of your voice, it really changes the way it is perceived. Even emotions are expressed through your voice. You actually, when you talk to a person on the phone, you can identify whether the person is smiling or not, even when you're not seeing, because our mind can perceive only images. Imagine the time you went to school and you were actually learning the language English, and then you are actually shown three lines, two lines on an angular position and one cuts in between, and they say this image is called A. And they show an apple and they say, okay, A for apple. So here we are taught everything through visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. So visually, they actually show you a letter A, which is an image of the letter A. And in order to brain to comprehend, they will make a sound saying that this is A. And in order to for you to understand, they say, okay, this is an apple, and A is the first letter of the word apple. So here, auditory, visual, and kinesthetic. Auditory has its own importance, visual has its own importance, and kinesthetic has
Mhm.
its importance. But whenever the stress changes or the emotion changes, the whole meaning of the stuff changes. So here, confidence and voice, they go hand in hand. And what you have in mind can be only expressed through your voice and confidence, or it is through communication that reaches the other person as confidence or without confidence. I hope I answer your question.
You did, and beyond the expectation. Thank you so much. That's
You're
so.
welcome, Beatrice.
The stressors, the tones and stressors express emotion, and they
Yes, they do.
change. Oh, okay, okay.
So even just let me extend that the breath portion, where if
Mm.
I'm saying I really love this talk. Okay, so here I'm not using any emotion. It looks very bland, and I very well understand the person who is listening understand that I'm least interested. But if I say with more air in my breath or in my voice, I would say, I really like this session. So there you actually hear and you understand that this person is really excited about it. So the voice conveys a lot more than we actually think.
Yeah, it does. That's amazing, and it's
Right.
really really beneficial to hear this. I'm so glad you're here, Dr. Chris. Thank you so much. I did have
You're
one
welcome.
other question. With communication. Uh, how do you obtain that synergy? Like, what can be done to clear your mind so that you have that the synergy to speak what you
Okay.
are thinking?
Right. Now, in order to understand the mind, we go to the basics that, as I said, you learned everything. Initially, you saw images, and these images are stored with certain sounds and associated with certain kinesthetic aspects, and that's how you learn anything and everything in this world. So here, the sounds. There is a particular, a very old, very knowledgeable person, a saint, we call him a saint, and his name is Thiruvalluvar. He wrote in a Tamil poem, he wrote during AD 2, and that's way past, I mean, even before many of the languages were formed. In that particular verse, he says, Agara mudala எழுத்தெல்லாம் ஆதி பகவன் முதற்றே உலகு. So here, what he says is, in this world, take any language, the first letter would be A. How did a person living in AD2 foresee that anything and everything, the whole world, any language, the first letter would be A? If you take if you take the Arabic, then it's Alif, which is A. If you take A, that's A. If you take any other Indian language, the first letter is A. So those were visionaries who understood the aspect of how language would prosper in the future, or how language would develop in the future. So these aspects given a kind of insight into how the thinking happened, and that's the reason why the main aspect of voice or language, or how you perceive this particular communication aspect. Now, when it comes to the mind, from childhood, imagine you're driving a truck and you're moving, and as you go, you put in a lot of stuff, maybe good things, bad things. If you're putting a lot of bad things into it, it looks more like a garbage truck. Even if there are good things, you will not even identify. If you're not ready to unload this garbage from time to time, your mind is going to be muddled, and you are actually driving a garbage truck which can not take any more garbage. So what happens? You are emotionally stressed and you cannot perform at all. This is the aspect of the mind. So whatever you have, even if you have the best of the best concepts inside it, the garbage you have loaded, which is the emotions or the pent up anger or any kind of emotions what you have carried, if you're not cleared your mind from time to time, you're driving a garbage truck and nobody wants to come near it. But if you're able to unload this garbage on a regular basis, then when you're unloading, you can choose the good things to remain, and then you're carrying a cargo of the most essential things in the world, and people would come really to you. And the kind of voice you use to tell that, yeah, I have the best of the best things, come and buy, and that makes you a better person. So this is the aspect of voice, language, and the mind.
That is phenomenal. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Clearing out your mind regularly. So, methods to do that.
Methods, you want the methods?
Yes, if you can share, please.
Okay, so let's take a very simple exercise. Now, here, every morning, take a piece of paper and write down all that has hurt you in the past, whatever comes to your mind. Once you finish writing, take the pen and just scribble over it as much as possible with all the anger, with all the emotions, and scribble it to a level where nobody can read it anymore. Tear it into pieces and just let it burn. Now, what it does, the mind actually is looking at the kind of problems you have written. And when it is actually scribbled over, the mind gets relaxed. When it is burnt, the mind believes that the problem is over. So, this is a very easy technique which you can practice every day, and all your emotions would be in control and your mind would be clear. This is the easiest technique, I'm saying.
It's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you. I can turn it back over to you, Sakshi. Thank you, Dr. Chris.
You're welcome. Thanks, Beatrice.
Thank you, Dr. Chris. It was really very insightful and very amazing to know about all that language, confidence, mind, all that synergy between among all of them. Thanks a lot for your insights.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Retros, for your wonderful questions. Now, we have with us founder of No Time and a student entrepreneur, Amin NM. Amin, are you there?
Yeah, thank you, Sakshi, for calling me. Yeah, so I've been wondering what I have to ask. Just I have a simple question. Can you share one simple exercise that I can do improve my mind, voice, and confidence? You said about mind through scribbling, right?
Yeah, that is
That kind
clearing
of
the mind.
exercise for voice and improve your confidence. Can you
Okay.
share that?
Yes. Now, this has been experimented in many colleges around the world, though it may sound very outrageous, but it's a fact. Go inside your room, lock it up completely, close all the windows, put all the curtain shades and everything. If you can completely strip yourself and look at the mirror and start appreciating yourself, that's the moment your confidence will increase multifold. It sounds very outrageous. I'm warning you, but still, yes, that is the first level where when you start appreciating yourself, that increases the confidence. Now, next point, when you're looking at a mirror, every time you look at a mirror to brush your teeth or to comb your hair or to groom yourself, any aspect when you look into the mirror, look into your eyes and say that, wow, you're beautiful, or you're great, or you look smart. These are the aspects which can actually call the affirmations. These are the aspects which will improve your confidence and make you believe in yourself. Looking into your own eyes and telling that, yes, you're doing good, you're doing great. So that increases the confidence part. So this is on the mind level. Now for voice part, yes, you can get yourself trained in voice where the breathing pattern is understood, where the stresses are understood, where the modulation is understood, where you can speak without slur, where you understand the aspect of the most important thing, which will increase the magical effect of whatever you're speaking. So these are things which can be trained on a voice level. So the confidence level increases, your voice is improved, the mind is clear. So now we have all the three exercises put together. The person can perform much more than what anybody can even think of. Now, for when somebody talks to me, uh, I really feel that they are capable of so much more. Why are they not doing it? The reason could be pent up emotions, the garbage truck story, or maybe they are not expressing themselves properly, the voice is not properly trained, or it is just that they have doubt in themselves or self doubt. That is the worst thing you can ever have. Take the case of one verse in Bhagavad Gita which says, Uddharet Atmanatmanam Natmanam Avasadhet Atmaiva hi Atmano Bandhur Atmaiva Ripuratmanaha. The verse actually talks about if you're successful in life, the reason is only you. Only you can make yourself successful. Now, if you're looking at failure, the only reason for failure is you. The reason being, you can be your best friend and you can be your worst enemy. So, this is the kind of lifestyle lesson what I find inside the scriptures or find inside the Indian texts. And that makes me think more on a level where how the mind works, how you believe in yourself, how you voice, and how confident you are the three main aspects of a success of a person. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, sir. It's wonderful
You're
answer.
welcome.
Thank you for answering my question. And I
You're
have one
welcome.
more question.
Yes.
You also face some issues that, like you have to get out of your comfort zone, and you face a lack of confidence situation. And
Okay.
can you share any situation in your life and how did you tackle that situation? That will be
There are
useful.
if as long as you're alive, you will have problems and complaints. The only set of people who have no complaints, no problems, are the people who are living in the cemetery because they are dead. As long as you're alive, you will have problems. So when you have a problem, now facing the problem is the main issue. There are different ways to face a problem. The fear is only till you face it. Like if somebody has read my blog, it actually, the title of the blog is "It is only dark till you open your eyes." You have to open your eyes and look at the problem and face it, because every problem comes with a solution along with it. There is no problem which cannot be solved. It is only till the moment that you open your eyes and understand what the problem is, then the problem starts getting solved by itself. So the confidence level is that, yes, I can face my problem. That is the aspect. Now, let me take about a few years back. One of the persons who was so very dear to me passed away. Now, I have to accept and move on. The easiest way to understand is that life moves on. So accepting that moment, it is very difficult. Yes, we are bound to get down to depression. We are bound to be very sad. We are bound to feel that there is nothing more. But when you actually look at it, what else can I do to make all the dreams come true? Now, that aspect moves me forward because every person leaves a whole set of dreams, and those dreams are to be fulfilled. If that person is dear to you, you just accept it and move forward. Take the case of any other problem. Like people say that my environment is not good, my people who are with me, they are not good, they are not supporting me. You don't need a support from anyone else for your success, because it is said that you are the reason for your success and you are the reason for your failure. So why do you need any kind of support from anyone else? There was a particular young person, a 23-year-old boy, who actually went to Benares, and there is a hotel where people come to die because they believe if you die in Benares, your soul gets salvation. So there he went and interviewed all the old people, and the main aspects of life he questioned, and out of the findings, the most important finding he had was that you will not regret anything what you did, but you will regret what you did not do. When you look back into your life, for things which you have not done, you will always regret. Even if you have committed a mistake, you're not bound to regret it later because you would have learned something from it. But if you had not done that, that will make you feel sad about yourself. So the regret at the end of time, or at the time when you're nearing your death, that point, the only thing which is going to hurt you is that I wish I would have done that. So the regret is only for things which you did not do. If you understand this one aspect of life, then you will never have any problem. Because when the problem comes, tell yourself, I will not regret doing this and I'm going forward. And that will make you a better person.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for answering my question. And
You're
back to you,
welcome.
Sakshi.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Amin. And thank you, Dr. Chris. It was really beautiful and wonderful. And it reminded me of a quote that says that, if you're going through hell, just keep going, because why would you stop in hell?
Yeah,
So,
that's true. There is a very interesting little anecdote which I give to all my friends who are attending my talks, that you always have two options. When you have, like, either in life, either you're healthy or you're not healthy. If you're healthy, it is okay. If you're unhealthy, then you have again two options. Either you will be at the hospital or you will survive. If you're healthy, then it's okay. If you're in the hospital, then again you have two options. You will either live or die. If you live, it's okay. If you die, then you have two options, either heaven or hell. If you go to heaven, it's okay. When in hell, you will meet your friends. So what's the problem all about?
absolutely, yeah. This is more similar to, we have a show called Office Office. We have a show called Office Office in which we have that two choices, and
Yeah.
it's never ending. So, yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, whether it's as a student level, entrepreneur level, or any level, everybody has the problems, and it's just, I think, is our perspective that, that actually solves it or makes it more difficult for us. So thank you so
Exactly.
much, Chris, for
You're
the
welcome.
wonderful answer. Now the stage is open for the audience. I guess we first have Anu Premraj sir with us. Welcome, sir. How are you doing? Hello,
Hello,
Anup sir. Are you? Yeah, yeah,
can you hear me? Am I audible?
yeah.
Yes,
Absolutely,
you are.
definitely.
Yeah, so my name is Anup, and I am a facilities manager or like community management expert. So I would like to know how I can influence with my voice to any other any of my prospects or any of my clients, because in daily basis I'm meeting a lot of people. I'm technically speaking to so many people. I'm technically taking classes to so many people, giving presentation, all kind of things. So I just wanted to know how I can use my voice to take it to the next level.
Yeah. One thing, what you're communicating, like I said in the introduction part itself, what you have in mind, that should be articulated at least twice, thrice in your mind itself. Then you find the right kind of words. Then you add the right kind of pauses. You give the right kind of stresses. And when you speak, with a smiling face, there is nothing which you can stop.
Thank you. Basically, my prospects or the people I'm speaking to varies from, basically, my work is related to the buildings, like
Okay.
constructed buildings. So facilities
Okay.
management is related to the buildings. So
Okay.
on a daily basis, I have to, speak to the suppliers of the building who is providing the services, and also I have to speak to the tenants who is living in the building, and also I have to speak to engineers who is supporting me
Yeah.
in the
I'll give
buildings.
you I'll give you an easy tip. Let's say Dubai is a place where you have, say, 165 plus countries represented with the people there.
True, true.
Now, if you are actually meeting a person from Philippines, a few words of Tagalog would break the ice. Like when you meet the person, if you actually smile at him and say, "Magandang umaga po, kamusta?" then actually it changes the world around. You meet an Arab, you actually, with all the courtesy, all the respect, if you say, "Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh," it actually opens up a whole avenue before your eyes. If you're actually meeting a Mexican, if you say, "Hola amigo, ¿cómo estás?" that actually changes the way the person looks at you. After that, you speak English or even you speak any other language, it doesn't matter. He feels the ice breaking is done because you speak the language he speaks. You meet a Sri Lankan, you say Aibawan, Komadasapasani pa. Then actually, the ice breaking is done. If you meet a person from India, you say Namaste, kaise ho aap? Or you say in South India, Vanakkam, Namaskaram, or anything, Kaisala in Marathi, or anything, the kind of people you interact, if you break the ice with their language, with their mannerism, NLP actually says if you mirror even their actions, you can actually influence people. So understanding the body language, understanding the language, and expressing it with happiness will solve all kinds of problems.
Yeah, thank you for the valuable advice.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Anup, for your wonderful question, and thank you, Dr. Chris, for the
You're welcome.
beautiful answer.
Thank you, Dr. Chris.
Yeah, and now we have with us Dr. Suparna. Hello, Dr. Suparna. How are you doing? You would have a unmute button over there. You need to unmute yourself. Are you there? Okay, just one thing to say before if she unmutes herself, that yeah, I do agree with what Dr. Chris said, that it's very important, and even Kabir's platform Jamo work also represents the same thing, that you have to think globally, but you have to act locally. So it's very important that you connect with people in their language, in their uh, persona.
Exactly.
Thank you
It
so.
makes things easier. So to say, it makes things easier because the first few words, what you speak to a person, that's the first impression you're creating on that person's mind. Again, we are talking about the mind, voice, and confidence. So when with your voice, when with your emotion, which is a happy emotion, and you use your mind to actually communicate with the person in his language, the rest doesn't matter at all. Then everything will be magical because you actually are showing interest in the other person's culture. Because if you actually take the US and India, or maybe Japan and the US, as per the intercultural communications, you have a high context culture and a low context culture. In the low context culture, like what we have in Japan or India, there is nothing wrong called low. The aspect is much different, where we give emotions by our body language gestures, and when we speak, it might mean totally different. But on a high context culture, like what is followed in the US, what they speak is what they mean. So that difference you need to understand when you're working globally. You need to understand what intercultural communication is all about. You need to understand about the culture, because when you're actually, if you're traveling to Japan, the way they greet, the way they treat you, even a tea ceremony, everything would be different when you actually look at having a normal Earl Grey in London. So the totally different aspects which you have to understand, that the cultures are different, the language is different, their minds work in a different way. So understanding your mind and your client's mind also plays a very important role.
Absolutely, true, true. So, Suparna, Dr. Suparna, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Now it's now you are like now I'm audible, right?
Yes, yes. Tell me.
Yeah. Hi, doctor. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, so I'm Dr. Suparna. I'm an aesthetic general practitioner, and I currently work here in Dubai. So I wanted to know how I can influence my patients or my clients with my like, voice modulation or like how it will affect with my
Yeah.
consultation.
So the aspect is whether you're on the medical field. Are you a surgeon or an anesthetist? That makes a big difference, because anesthetist,
No,
being an anesthetist, the person is going to sleep off, I'm sure.
no, this is aesthetic medicine, like related to cosmetic medicine, cosmetology.
Aesthetic.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the best aesthetic element what you have,
Mm-hmm.
wear the best smile possible.
Okay.
Whenever you speak, use more air, breathe in more air, and use more air when you speak.
Mm-hmm.
That will sound very positive.
Yeah.
If you're actually saying, okay, I will do this particular thing for you, that will not make the person. You smile and say, yeah, I'll be happy to do it for you.
Yes.
So that makes the whole difference. Even your modulation and the tonal quality of your voice really impresses. It has to be very pleasant, warm, and you should wear a smile. When you're speaking, if you're not wearing a smile, the other person actually feels intimidated, and the person will not accept what you're saying. But at the same time, you're actually, say, one of your clients is coming from Japan, and that person is coming to you for some aesthetic element. And he comes in, and if you smile and say, Konnichiwa, and that actually he says, oh, wow. And then he moves forward. Or if it's a Chinese, then you say, Ni hao. And things start changing because you have broken ice with their language. Along with that, you're having a pleasant disposition and you're smiling. The rest is taken care of.
Yes.
And on a parting note, when a Japanese leaves, you say, Domo arigatou gozaimasu. And the person, he's very happy that, okay, the thanking also, the opening and closure is done. So that makes your bond with that person very strong. He would actually go home and say that, yeah, I met a person who is trying to learn our language, a very nice person from India. And the next time, again, if he thinks about any aesthetics, he would naturally come to you, or he or she would naturally come to you.
Yes. Yeah. It's correct.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Thank you, doctor.
you're welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Suparna, and thank you, Dr. Chris. Chaitanya, are you there?
Yeah. Hi, Doctor.
Yeah.
Dr. Chris, it's a pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure is mine always.
Sir, I have been a student of Dr. Joe Dispenza. I have heard, Dr. Silva. I have done their methods, and
Oh,
I think
Silva
they,
method, wonderful.
yeah, and I think there was always a missing jigsaw puzzle that never answered a lot of questions. It was an accidental sign up today, but I really bless myself for joining in.
God bless you.
So, fundamentally, I know that you are talking a lot about the inner aspects, but the outer aspect is the voice and confidence.
Exactly.
Now I would really want your tutelage. How do I make it possible?
Mr. Kabir is there. He's the person who can facilitate anything and everything.
All right, and all right, sir. So I will reach you through Kabir.
Yeah. Anytime.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Chaitanya, for joining us. Now we have Salman sir with us. Hello, Salman sir. I hope you're doing good. You can go ahead with your question or your insight.
Hi, Sakshi. Thank you very much. I just want to begin with a quote. Rome wasn't built in a day. Likewise, we have Dr. Chris here with us. and a person with many talents. Mashallah, he's having he's having proficiency in different languages, and the way he speak out, it's literally amazing. And
Thank you very much.
my question or my problem to convey in this room today is, I have very poor vocabulary in terms of the language English. Like, I always miss some words. I never get I never get good words while communicating, especially while writing something. And I just want to ask you: is there any exercises which I can practice in day-to-day life to improve my language and in all perspectives, like
Very much, very
speaking?
much.
Yeah,
See, if you
yes.
actually look at just the speaking part, when you're exposed to more, say, English language content on TV, or if you're listening to audiobooks, well prepared audiobooks, it really helps because you listen to new words, you go in search of what it means, and then you learn that word. So by correlation and contrast, compare and contrast, you learn a lot of stuff. But if you're looking at improving your vocabulary as such, reading really helps. Reading aloud really helps your voice as well as your vocabulary. And at the same time, it does it really matter if you're confident, even if you miss a word when you're speaking to a person, if you have a smile on and you just laugh at yourself, the other person is not going to mind whether you're speaking any a kind of erroneous statement or a mistake or anything that comes in between. It really doesn't matter as long as you're smiling and you're happily disposed. So there, the aspect of language, it is just a means of communication, because more than that, you have the 78% of your body language, which will convey that, yeah, I'm confident enough to do it. And the rest, 22%, yes, it can be worked over time by listening to audiobooks, by reading, and by speaking. These are the three things which can help us move forward.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dr. Chris. Much appreciated for your advice. Thank you very
Thank you very
much.
much. And as per what you said, all the nice words you put forward to me, I would say Alhamdulillah, all the grace of God.
MashaAllah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Dr. Chris, we can also watch a movie with the subtitles on. That would also help.
Very much, very much, very much. That's what I said. Any content which helps you in understanding any language, and you can learn by compare and contrast. Yes, it is possible.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're
And thank you,
welcome.
Salman, so for joining us. Next, we have Rajesh so with us. Hello, Rajesh. So you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hi. Dr. I joined, and thank you for allowing me to speak. Dr. I joined a bit late, so I was disconnected from the initial conversation. But like few things that you were answering, I totally agree with. I actually did interact with a lot of farmers in as a part of my job, and always
Mm-hmm.
I been to use their language to communicate because it makes them very comfortable. Say, if I, even if they understand my language or English, if I speak in that particular language, they'll actually approach me as an alien. But then, if I try to speak in their language, they always they accept me as one among them. That is perfectly fine. But my question, I have like we provide software solutions to industry and to farmers. Many a
Mm-hmm.
times, what happens is they may not be satisfied with what we give. They may not be satisfied with the timeline that we keep. So many
Mm-hmm.
times they come up with complaints or they act a bit arrogant. That time we need to respond with being content to the situation so that we doesn't the situation doesn't get worsened or the relationship doesn't get spoiled. So what
Exactly.
sort of the voice and sound modulation should I use at that point to
Right.
ensure that the relationship is intact? Many a case, even if we break up, we actually keep the relationship with the client. I'm able to uh, continue with the personal friendship or say every time it may not be a success story. There are few occasions when we actually break up, but then
Mm-hmm.
still we keep the personal relationship going or continuing in a good shape. So
Mm-hmm.
how can I improve that to ensure like I need to handle it in a better, much better way? What all things should I be
Exactly. Okay.
right
I
now?
get your question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I get your question. The aspect what you're talking about is one that you use in a group discussion rather than a debate. The difference between a group discussion and a debate is like when you are talking to your client and when he has a complaint, then the aspect of your mind, it should be agreeing to disagree. Like when he says this is a problem, then the first thing is, yeah, I do understand this is a problem. So once you have made him comfortable that you understand it is a problem, then you get a chance to explain what the problem is and how it can be solved. So agreeing to disagree is a technique which can be used in group discussions or in client discussions where there is a disagreement. Again, a pleasant disposition does not mean a mocking disposition. Like you don't laugh at a client for what he's saying. You're pleasantly saying that, yeah, I do apologize. I do understand that there is an issue. Because if you look at the tele marketing or the telecalling people, they always are advised only to say that, yeah, I do understand your problem. That's the first statement what they say. Now, that exactly is the key to opening up. Many a times it may not even work, but at least it will keep the relationship in a stable and happy manner. So, whatever you convey, agreeing to disagree, that helps on a first level. Second, your explanations, like how well you explain your concept, like why that problem arose or why it cannot be solved. Now, first of all, get to the root cause of the problem. What was communicated by them, it probably did not reach you. So there is nothing wrong in asking them like what you want 100 times before you start working, and then delivering it. At least you have the record saying that, yeah, this is what you said. I do understand now it is not what you like, but this is what you actually conveyed. So the root cause is the initial communication part. So improving communication skills using techniques in debate and group discussions. That is why in colleges we are taught or we are entertained by these events like group discussions and debates and speeches and oration and recitation. All these things are mainly to develop your soft skills. This is an aspect of soft skill, and the main aspect which I want to specify was that the pleasant disposition, the kind of pace you keep in your speech. Like if you're too fast, the client would naturally get angry. If you're too slow, they will get bored. So maintain a good pace, a happy smile, and agree to disagree. This can solve the problem.
Another question: what is the best
Yes,
way to
please.
do
Best way to, pardon?
say no?
Say
Sometimes
no. The art of saying no. There is a whole book of don't say yes when you want to say no. That book itself is a key. It's a whole book.
I'm
It's a
just
skill which you can develop. It's a skill you can develop by that book can really make you understand how to say no, because the art of saying no is there in that book where the title of the book is Don't Say Yes When You Want to Say No.
in fact, actually, today morning I was having a conversation with my sister,
Uh-huh.
and we were telling like none of us in the family know how to say no. It was ended up like a
Yeah, it leads to a lot of problems. Don't say yes when you want to say no.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you, Rajesh, for joining us, and thank you, Dr. Chris, for having such a wonderful explanation.
Yeah.
And we are a little over time, but it was really having like it was such a wonderful session with you. I wish Kabir would have kept it for 2 hours or maybe more than that. But it's time for your parting notes. So, can we have just a last few words from your side?
Yeah. One aspect, what I want to pass on to everyone who's listening, listen to your mind, take care of your mind, leave all the emotions because you don't want dust on anything which is fresh and useful. So clear the dust, keep off the emotions, and don't react when you need to respond. These are the things of the mind. For the voice, breathe well, and as much as you breathe well, your voice will become better and better. And confidence starts with believing in yourself. These three things, if you're looking at, then success is not very far from you.
Wow.
Sakshi, Sakshi, you're there? Hello, Sakshi. Yeah, I think it's time for parting notes. It is
Yes.
7 a.m. and I can't like but let's start our parting notes from the panel. Amin is also missing, but Diatis, can I have your parting notes?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Kabir, and thank you so much, Dr. Chris, for the imparting the most profound knowledge, and you've given us so many techniques for developing our mind and voice and confidence. It's just been a pleasure, and I'm truly thankful. So it's been an amazing session, and thank you very much.
You're
Uh,
welcome.
Sakshi, can I have your parting notes? Hello, Sakshi. I can't hear you. I think there may be a glitch. Can you go out of the room, come back fast? Yeah, yeah, I can hear you now. Sakshi, we just wait for Sakshi. So before that, I would like to, before Sakshi comes, I would like to thank all of you for being here. And uh, Chris is going to start has a voice coaching sessions. So if you would like to know more, please do contact me. Uh, it'll be okay, right, Chris?
Yes, yes, by all means.
Okay. So and we are yeah, Sakshi, your parting notes. Oh, Sakshi, I can't hear you. One more time. If you're from mobile, can you close the app and come back? I want your parting notes. You did a very wonderful session today. You, the address, you planned it very well. So, Chris is making it very, like, we are planning to make it very affordable for all the entrepreneurs. We are working on it, and so do connect to us. And yes, this is the main purpose of Chumawak. Chumawak, our dream is to reach 100 million entrepreneurs, enable them, bring them to success. And if you would like to volunteer, and if you are an entrepreneur, you can volunteer for the sessions. The minimum criteria is that you at least be a solopreneur, entrepreneur. So I would like to thank all the volunteers, like Diatris, handling the US Power Mornings, and Amin and Sakshi, conducting the India Power Morning. Sakshi, if you are there, just give me a hi, yeah? So I can know your voice is still I can't hear you. And Amin is not there right now, so Amin, uh, um, sorry, Amin is not there. Uh, Sakshi, one more time. Sorry, dear. I don't know why your sound is not working. So please do get back to me. So I'll get, and every week from here till the 100th day, you're going to have one great session from Chris. I hope you all be happy for that.
Pradeep, can you hear me? I guess it's working now.
Perfect, perfect. I wanted your parting notes.
Okay, finally. Okay, thanks, Kabir. And thank you, Dr. Chris. It was really a wonderful, beautiful, amazing, insightful conversation and a session with you. And I particularly was able to connect with you because, I saw that you have an habit of using quotes and a lot of, mixing languages and speaking. And that is something I also, love using quotes while speaking. So that was the one thing I really got impressed by. And it was really a wonderful session and wonderful insights given by you. Just looking forward to have such more sessions with you and to meet you also in real life. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much and welcome.
Chris, now your parting notes.
I really feel that every person has a chance, 100% potential within him to be the best. And the first aspect is improving oneself, helping others improve, and voicing what you have in mind and with confidence. So the mind, voice, and confidence synergy, as and when it infiltrates into every human being, I'm sure success for that person would be the most easiest thing to do?
Thank you, Chris. A great takeaway for all.
Thank
So
you very
yeah,
much. You're welcome.
okay. So it's like it was a great session, and now you're going to hear one ghazal for every even. Do put the message. We'll chart all, and it is more going to be on voice. So uh, now it's time to tell bye. I hope this session. Can I have an applause from all of you for Chris and all like Sakshi and Beatrice making this happen. Thanks a lot, and I would like to thank all the volunteers who is supporting. Like the day one, I was alone in a room, and I was dreaming of reaching 100 million people. I never knew how this would happen. I never knew who Beatrice was. I never knew who Sakshi was. I never knew who Amin was. And all other volunteers, I never knew who they were. But believe me, when you have a dream and when you want to make that happen, the law of attraction works for you. So we have a wonderful team. Any entrepreneurs who want to be a part of it, do contact me. And as I always tell, dream big, aim high, start small. Start very small so that you can easily focus on what you're doing. Start very small so that you can easily build a discipline around what you're doing. Start very small so that you can easily master what you're doing. Once you do these three things, you can see yourself as a scalable startup. Believe me, you are being a high performance entrepreneur, and we are here to help you. And do try out our 5 a.m. power mornings daily and the fitness session after that. We have three time zones currently: Indian time zone, UAE time zone, and is EST, Eastern Standard Time. The address is EST, right?
Yes, Kabir, Eastern
Okay, thank
Standard.
you. So these three are the and a dreamer from this part of the world with lots of love. Signing off, PC Kabir. Every speakers in the panel can tell bye bye. So in the count of three, we are closing the room. Three, two, one. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you so
Bye,
Thank you
much.
everyone.
so
Thank